Whatever it is, Chairman, we hope you're voting no.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to be shutting down the EPA on some of their regulations today, right now. Look, I represent part of the city of New Orleans and all the suburbs. Many people know all the great restaurants that we have in New Orleans. When you talk to those restaurant owners, they will tell you to a person the biggest threat they face today in their businesses, and these are restaurants that are filled every single night producing world quality food, is the different policies coming down from the president, especially Obamacare. You literally have a law on the books right now that has perverse incentives to reduce your workforce below 50 employees and to take your full-time employees and move them below 30 hours. Those are in Obamacare that literally are forcing millions of people to both lose their jobs and to be reduced in their hours. And the White House's answer is, hey, you got more free time to go and sit on a park bench and read poetry. Well, you know, these people want to work. These people don't want to be forced out of their job by policies from not only the president's health care law, but look at what the EPA is doing to run millions of jobs out of our country. Look at what the National Labor Relations Board, the whole alphabet soup of the federal now is aimed at attacking the American dream and killing jobs in this country. Within the Republican Study Committee have tackled this head on. In fact, Steve Sutherland is the chairman of our anti-poverty initiative. We did a press conference on the day of the 50th anniversary of the war on poverty, and we said, why don't we actually go and look at the results? You know, government doesn't like to have the sunshine come on it to see exactly how these policies have worked. And so 50 years, over 50 years in a so-called war on poverty, these are two facts that we know. $15 trillion have been spent in the war on poverty. $15 trillion, enough to fund the entire government, every operation of the federal government for 4 years. $15 trillion, and you know what the results are? 10 million more people today are in poverty than before the war started. So clearly this has been a dismal failure, but there is one proven success. One time where Congress actually came in and said, let's look at this and do something different. And that was in 1996 when welfare reform was invoked. When the Republicans took control of the House, Bill Clinton vetoed the bill, finally relented and gave in. And look at what happened. Literally within a year, you had a dramatic drop in poverty. You had a drop in single mothers in poverty. All of the metrics you would want to look at and say what's good and what's bad. Good things happen when we actually invoked requirements to make people work, that we're able to work, and to get rid of this safety net that says right now in D.C., if you're in the District of Columbia, the federal government will pay you with all the benefits combined to be on welfare $24 an hour. The Cato Institute did this study. $24 an hour the federal government's paying you not to work. And so when you have jobs right now that are open that will at minimum wage or even higher, those employers are competing against the very federal government that's paying people not to work. All we're saying is let's just put a requirement in that says if you've got an opportunity to go get a job, you can't be on the government dole. First of all, we've got to get back to being the party of big ideas. The Republicans have always historically been the party of big ideas, and the Democrats are the party of big government. You can see what big government is doing to our country, and people don't like it. But they don't see enough of what we stand for, because if you look at, I mean, there was a lot of hand-wringing across the country after the election in 2012. And, you know, for those of us that were in that fog for days, and then we finally said, okay, there's only one bastion, and that's the House to try to hold on to the things that our country holds dear. If you look at what happened, people said, oh, you know, we've got to elect more moderate candidates. When's the last time that someone ran for president as a conservative? You can't find that time. When we run as moderates, we lose. And people are hungry for big ideas. We've just got to get back to showing that to them. And what we're pushing in the Republican Study Committee is we've got the House. We don't have the Senate yet. I think we're going to get the Senate. But if we get the House and the Senate, and then ultimately the White House, people want to know what we're going to do, and we have to establish a mandate by laying that out now, using the majority we have in the House to bring bills to the floor. Obamacare is bad. I want to repeal Obamacare. But it's not good enough to say what we're against. We've got to show what we're for. We've done that in the RSC. We put together a health care alternative. It's called the American Health Care Reform Act. Over 120 co-sponsors of the bill put free market reforms in place. We repeal Obamacare, but we actually go and put patients back in charge of their health care. We focus on lowering costs. We're going to put together an RC jobs bill. Look, the president talks about, I've got a pen and I've got a telephone. The president of the United States cannot use a pen to rewrite the laws of this country. That's not something the president can do as much as he wants to try. I'll tell you something the president can do right now with a pen is to approve the Keystone Pipeline and create 20,000 jobs in America. We need to put our ideas on paper. We need to put our ideas on the floor and force votes so that people have to pick and choose and say, this is what we stand for. What do you stand for? And people are hungry for these ideas. We need to push these ideas. We've got a few more months before the election, and we ought to be spending every day in the House advocating for those conservative principles that everybody knows have worked. They've worked every time they've been tried. Sometimes people get afraid of trying them. We got to get back to being the party of big ideas.
And I just want to wholly endorse what the chairman said and what Mike Lee has been saying about this as well. You know, we have principles, which are very important, but we need practical application in policy of those principles as well. And Obamacare is an enormous gift to us. Great millstone around the neck of Democrats, but people still want to know what our alternatives are, not just on health care, but on everything else. And this is where I just want to salute Steve and just want to say, keep at it.
Hey, ditto.
I think one of the things that so many people are hungry for, to get back to that optimism, the things that make this country great. And you know, we've got a great role model in Ronald Reagan, people that we still look to in terms of somebody who we idolize, in terms of somebody who really brought our country back to greatness. And the left still reviles him for those very same reasons because of how he transformed this country in such a great way. But if we want to get back there, we've got to go back and look at what made Ronald Reagan so great. Why was Reagan so successful? Why was policy so successful? And then replicate that. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. And just a couple of weeks ago was Ronald Reagan's 103rd birthday. I had the honor of having lunch with Michael Reagan. And one of the things that Michael talked about was not just about the great communicator that we all know and what made Reagan the great communicator, but also about how President Reagan always talked about American exceptionalism. And I think it's such a stark contrast right now with what we have in terms of a president who goes and apologizes for American exceptionalism. And look at the different results. Without firing a single missile, President Reagan actually brought down the Soviet Union. And you've got right now a president who's, you know, John Kerry's flying around and drinking Merlot with people and saying, let's all be friends. And they're laughing at us right now because they don't respect our country. And our allies are the ones that are most concerned, because our allies don't want an America that's equal to everybody else. We don't want an America that's equal to everybody else. Our allies want a strong America so that we are the leader of the free world. That is our responsibility, and it's something we should strive for. And I'll finish with this. If you look back, you know, America is such a great nation. It's a blessed nation, but it's a nation that's worth fighting for. And there is still an American dream that is under attack. But if you go look, I mean, nobody goes to Moscow to seek out the Russian dream. Nobody goes to Paris to seek out the French dream. There's only one place people go to seek out the dream, and that's the American dream. And it's a dream worth fighting for. We've got to engage in this battle and get it back.